If you were to define the most crucial and important moment during your descent of a waterfall, it would be the lip of given waterfall. Here it's all about interacting with that lip in order to make sure you're going to have the line you want, you're creating the angle of your kayak you need in order to get away nice and safe. To break this down, there is, I would say in general, 3 different types of lips. One would be a super vertical lip, where it's all about controlling the kayak purely with your body, your edge control and your blades. Secondly, a sloping lip, meaning it's not like a straight breakaway, but rather the lip is smoothly transitioning from flat to vert, and that gives you time to set the angle of your kayak, let the water help you doing that, and is generally a little bit easier than a straight vertical lip. The third lip would be a kicker, meaning the water would fall and then explode up and away from a feature like a rock, which then would mean once again you have to interact with that lip a little bit more compared to a sloping lip in order to create the angle of your kayak you need. Of course, this is not black and white. These things are all interchangeable and a bit mixed. You might have a sloping lip with a bit of a kicker at the end. There might be a vertical lip, but on one side it's starting to slope, or you have a kicker on the other. So this is all interchangeable and not black and white, 0 and 1s, but I usually break it down into those 3 types of lips, meaning I will set up my line and decide on my technique based on the lip. Once again, this is the most important moment of your descent. Once you're falling, there's only so much you can do. So making sure you come over that lip and you interact with it in the most controlled and planned way is going to make sure you're going to have a successful line down the waterfall.
So when scouting your waterfall or drop, you can categorize them into 3 different types of lip: a sloping lip, a vertical or 90-degree lip, or a kicker lip. Of course, as Adrian's already mentioned, there's a variety of these, and no drop or waterfall fits perfectly into one of these categories. But it will give you a really useful tool to help categorize them. And when it comes to our techniques later in the course, we'll be looking at different ways to boof or plug these drops depending on the lip type. So when we come to look at our boofing and plugging techniques, if we want to plug a vertical lip, there's a certain technique that we can use to make sure that we've got the right boat angle. And of course we can boof a vertical lip, we just need to apply a different technique to make it successful. So this is why recognizing the lip type is so important when we're scouting. Also on drops you might have multiple line options and also different lips at different points of the drop. So here on the river left is a kicker lip, we've got a sloping lip in the middle and it's more vertical the further right we go. There's also a variety of kickers. Kickers could be right at the lip, they could be halfway down the drop, and they'll affect the boat in different ways. It could be that the kayak is making contact with rock, or it could be that it's hitting a pressure wave, or it could be a water feature at the lip that kicks the bow upwards. So when scouting, understanding the lip type that you've got is so important. And later in the course, Adrian's going to be breaking down the skills we need to plug and boof in detail and looking at the different ways in which you can plug and boof each of these different lip types.